Disclaimer. Hello everyone! For this video, we'll be going over the latest December release information that the Karitomi has given us and why I think this could potentially break Beyblade X as we come ending off to this year. Now, first of all, shout out to my boy Keo for any translation notes and malabays.com because we have a Beyblade X Extreme sale. If you get 3 Beyblade X products on our shop, you get a 15% discount on your order. It is an optional way to support the channel. It helps keep the channel going truly, so I appreciate any support regardless. This is basically just the example of just the thing. And there's also a Beyblade Burst Winter Blowout sale that is separate from the Beyblade X sale, which is a 15% discount on Beyblade Burst products. And yeah, so we're basically going to kind of go over some of the main stuff to kind of break down. So we'll go over the basic stuff here. The entry starter. So a lot of times, you know, I've been kind of asked, you know, what exactly is this entry starter thing? So what the entry starter basically is that in Japan, they basically have products that are for new players that are coming into the game. So for an example, when you have like this battle entry set, or in general anything that has entry in the name, obviously hence the name, it is meant for new players that are coming into the game to go and play. So this drawn sword is basically like your in-between of where it is a booster and a starter. And it makes sense why they would pick drawn sword because it's such a popular release. So obviously, it makes a lot of sense. Of course, personally, I don't know, they could have at least done maybe a little bit of a color difference, but maybe I'm nitpicking just because that's how they were in the past too, and Burst did it. So you also get a very basic launcher. This is obviously just meant for like, they have like the main launch, and then you have like kind of like a little proto launcher thing, like a winder. Listen, it's made for a specific demographic for like new players kind of like just getting into it. So yeah, on the one hand, it is a cheaper way if you don't want to get the regular drawn sword. So I suppose if you want the original drawn sword but a cheaper way to get it, then there is obviously value on the entry starter there. Now to my surprise, we already got all, and I love that this combo reveal happens because I always hated this back in Burst where we had to wait so long for these combo reveals. But for the combo reveals, we have, first of all, this random booster, which this stuff releases December 27th, 2023. And the entry starter does actually release earlier on, which if you are wondering the release dates on the entry starter, it's like early December, which it should be the first Saturday of December, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, December 2nd, by the way, is the release date of that entry starter, but I digress. The random booster lineup, you have Wyvern, Gale, 580 Gear Ball. Then after I have 2, which is 360 Taper, Wyvern Gale. But the difference in this one is that it is a yellow recolor. Big W for Karitomi for actually doing like, you know, like basically repeating the prize, which I appreciate quite a bit because, you know, if you can't pull the prize, at least you could get like the alternate color of it, which is something that I like. There's also Knight's Lance, 480 Gear Ball, which that Night Lance I'll get to in a moment. There is also the Viper Tail 560 flat, Leon Claw 380 high needle, and then after Wizard Arrow 480 gear ball. So overall, I say solid lineup. The Wizard Arrow kind of whatever, just being placed there. It feels like a very easy filler that the Karitomi is doing, but at this point, I'm pretty sure we have enough Wizard Arrows to make like a rainbow, I think. Because then like the translation of Multi's name when it's like super literal, like the 7-color multi-rainbow whatever, so yeah. I mean, in fairness, right, the lineup is pretty good actually if you were looking at this. Like, for all that's offered on here, fair enough, I guess. Fair enough. So we'll move on from there and just kind of go over to the main base. So we have Wyvern Gale right here. So no new Ratchet, which I would have thought we would have gotten because we do have a new Ratchet, right? But only on the Phoenix release, the specific one, Wing. So the gimmick on this one is essentially the air flows smoothly on it. It has 4 blades that's going to reduce the air resistance. Listen, this is just, yeah, it's a stamina type. It's a stamina type. It does have a pretty interesting side profile, I will say that much. But visually it looks aight. You know, I think it's just because the renders always kind of screw with me, so that's why I'm a little bit hesitant. I'm also a little bit surprised because the prong design I'm kind of noticing, I think it's the same as the Phoenix stuff. And now I'm kind of wondering if the prong stuff is categorized by kind of maybe categories. So maybe there's a category for fantasy stuff. There's a category for, I don't know, I guess. I don't even know I don't know what's the rule set for when they're doing the prong design. I just know that a lot of them share, like Shark shares it with Leon Claw and Rhino Horn and Viper Tail and those patterns and stuff. So I'm kind of wondering what's the theme there, but yeah, obviously we move on from there. There is the yellow recolor, which looks fine. I do believe there is actually a little bit of variance in the color choice, so it probably will, most likely will look like that yellow Hell Scythe, just guessing by how this kind of looks here. I think the MVP is the one that's coming up next, dude. This is the best one. This is, look at it and tell me that it's not the best one right now. The color choice, the black and the purple, it looks so good. And plus, this also comes with a gear ball, so that's another big plus to this. So that is pretty awesome to actually see. Then after, Viper Tail's okay. You know, it's a nice recolor. It looks nice with the blue and little yellow. It looks nice. Leon Claw. This one, I'm not too sure if I like what they did with the gear bit for the recolor. I think it's just because I'm not used to it, because the actual line itself is basically like pure yellow, so it doesn't make sense that it kind of goes to pure red. Maybe I'll get used to it. You know what I think? It's the blue eye thing. I don't know if I would have liked that. I don't know what eye color actually would be the right choice then. I can't say red because then after there's too much. Maybe yellow for the eye? Listen, this is very minor. What color would you change at the eye, or you think the color is fine and look fine IRL? This is personal preference right now, just the choice. It looks okay. Moving on from there, we got, listen, Wizard Arrow looks really sick with the purple and the white, which actually I think is contrasting with the lens because it's purple and black there. I would have liked maybe just like a pink and a white Wizard Arrow, just so it's not purple, but we gotta get a pink bay eventually. Like, they gotta do it, man. They gotta. Okay, aside from that, you know, pretty solid lineup. A gear ball. So what the hell is this thing? You know, it looks a little bit goofy. What does this thing do? Well, the whole thing with gear ball is that basically it's a wider ball, but it can do like extreme dashes more. That's about it. That's the secret to this little goofy looking thing. That's essentially what it is. The idea is the base supposed to hit you. You're supposed to do like a counter extreme dash, and then after fight back. Will this be a good bit? Only time will tell, right? Oh, only time will tell. Only time will tell. I think the design is definitely interesting, how it kind of looks like visually, right? But I do have to, I have to say, you wanna know what? Maybe it'll be pretty good. Maybe it's gonna be like really freaking solid. Maybe it's gonna be an interesting boost for a lot of stamina types to use, where it's gonna be able to be a stamina type that fights back, which again, X is not the same as other generations. I always have to stress this. Not all of the same principles can be applied to X, right? Like for certain things or things that would be kind of common, right? Because X is like a different kind of you can try to apply, but you know what I mean? Like, you gotta be. Now, basically, like I was saying, if you look at that side profile right now, listen, now it's got a pretty big gap. It's got a pretty big gap. Now listen, you know, I've done, you know, the bays with the gaps and I've managed to make it work out, you know, Night Lance. The thing is that the gaps do kind of make them a little bit more easier to burst, but I guess that's just game balancing. It does kind of look like a lot smoother of a shape than Hell Scythe, and just judging by how this looks like visually, I would say this should maybe be, well, the stock will be a little bit tricky, but I think this might be able to do pretty decent. Like, I'll be able to probably go around pretty quickly, and honestly, the shape does look pretty good for stamina anyways. It looks very smooth in its design, so it's kind of hard to really hate on this thing, other than maybe just worrying about the gap right now. But we're gonna move on from there and talk about the main event. So now we have the Phoenix release, and I'm just gonna kind of go over this. So first of all, listen, it's 38 grams. It's 38 grams. That's like the main advertisement of this thing, that it's so heavy. Now, kind of just going over it, first of all, the blade's whole description is just like nine blades for like consecutive hits and whatever. Listen, When you look at this thing, it looks beautiful visually. It's got the weight. The shape of it looks pretty solid enough. Like, it looks pretty decent. And even if the shape was maybe slightly clapped, the fact that the weight is like that carries the entire thing now. So you basically have all, like, this is why the release has to be a must-have, because it has everything going for it. There comes with a string launcher, weight, new ratchet, it's got new parts, interesting stuff. It's got everything positive going for it right now. And now, and when we're talking about 38 grams too, like Cobalt Drake, listen, Cobalt Drake is also 38 grams, but the thing is with Drake, and let me tell you something. When I was using Drake originally, it really just needed the right parts to be used with, because once I got Cobalt Drake on something like 560 Rush, it became so dominant, because when there is that much weight difference, yes, it can matter quite a bit, where other stuff can struggle to KO and try to defeat it. And it becomes a little bit scary. It becomes a little bit scary. And it's kind of the same thing here. I'm really worried if we're gonna start weight creeping in X, because that will not be fun to deal with. We've already had to deal with that with Burst. Also, X can literally just not work if they try to creep the weight out. It's just not going to work long term for them. But even moving on from there, like, the release has so many good things going for it, but that's also what makes it so scary right now, because there's so many things that are going to make me very scared for the meta. You know, obviously, I will be doing competitive testings with this, and I will see what's good for it, what isn't good for it, all that type of stuff. But if we move on from there, we get our ratchet, which is 960. Now, if we look at 960 here, this honestly, if you want me to be real for a second, this really just looks like it's a variant of 3, like 3 sides. Because it kind of reminds me of Angle from Beyblade Burst. I don't think there's going to be that much of a burst risk. Like, let's be honest now. If it looks that close to 3, it should be okay, right? But if we move on from there and kind of cover the rest of this stuff, like, listen, the Bay has, like, basically a pure variant of 3. The Gear Flat, I think, is really cool, because Gear Flat is just specialized for that extreme dash stuff, which, again, very, very cool design. The bit has high resistance. By the way, the high ball has low resistance, but if you want to figure out what that means and you don't know, just check out one of my reviews. I usually always explain it. Now listen, this has so much value. I literally don't know what you have. If you're trying to get into Beyblade X right now, not only is this a stunning release, but it has everything good going for it. Like, it's a must-have. It is. There's a little bit of a commercial thing. Just get a little bit better shots of it. It's like beating the shit out of Night Shield and stuff. Now, this one in particular, which I'm going to do pretty quick on, this one is Phoenix Feather. Now, this is used in the manga by Ban. Now, basically what this is like, this is his little bay before he gets to the actual PhoenixWing. And now he has a feather bay and he has a wing bay. Now, with the feather, this is going to be, you have to get the Koro Koro issue, and then after that comes in the Koro Koro issue. I might try to stock up on this for our store, but it's just the blade. And visually, the blade is kind of like, when I say variant, now I actually mean this, like a true variant of Drawn Sword in its literal design. So they tried to say, oh, because it's lighter than Drawn Sword, it should be going super fast and attacking and killing. I mean, either way, this looks like pretty cool. The anime combo, the manga stock combo is like 360 flat. And aside from that, that's pretty much it for this overall video. So on my thoughts personally, as we end off, first of all, we're gonna at least get an early review with Phoenix Feather, I guess, because that's gonna be in the middle of December. So there's some content there for, which by the way, that means I actually need to make a lot of content, because there's not new stuff till the end of the month. But, you know, the entry starter, you know, it makes sense what it is, obviously. The Phoenix Bay, I think, is going to be very scary, specifically the wing version, the wing Phoenix. And then after Wyvern, no complaints really, seems interesting. And to give credit where Takara told me where to do here, they are doing a good job. The ratchet's not really right now, but at least the bits-wise, innovating the gameplay style, making interesting designs. Like, I feel like all kids on the bits right now is that the bits, like, they're not really doing, but they've done it with Rush, there's high variants, low variants, there's genuine variety, and I gotta really appreciate them and just give credit where credit's due. But aside from that, let me know your thoughts in the comments, since, I mean, I know for the rest of this month I pretty much got most of the stuff planned, but if there's any videos you want to see me do, whether anything Beyblade related, you know, comment it, and I'm more than happy to be able to do that video because I need content for December. So I just realized that, and that's how we're gonna end off the video. Take care, stay safe, God bless. Thank you, Keo, for the translation notes, and that'll be it for now. Bye.